I'm Tamara Rabinald, CEO of Vodra International, a company dedicated to the IP industry for over 19 years, specializing in intellectual property investigations and brand protection. I wanted to share this excerpt from a presentation that I gave on successful investigations and things to consider when making test purchases. Completing test purchases to obtain product samples and secure hard evidence is often a critical component in an investigation. You have to know what you're dealing with. Is the seller offering counterfeit, infringing, or potentially diverted goods? Will the product shipped match the photos and description in the seller's listing? You just never know, and whatever you receive could make or break your case. As investigators, it's our job to make sure that our buys are successful and every morsel of information and evidence is collected and preserved in the process. Of course, we also want to remain anonymous, meaning that we aren't identified as private investigators in the course of the investigation. So we use a legally registered undercover entity for this purpose and any interactions with the seller along the way. Depending on what you may already know about the seller offering the product, and whether it is on a third-party platform or sold directly on the subject's website, you may have a sense of how robust your cover or backstory needs to be. With the way some sites operate these days, it may be hard to anticipate what you will encounter until you actually start the purchase process. Just keep in mind that to some degree, every transaction is a two-way street of communication, sharing identifying information between the buyer and the seller. While you may be focused on identifying the seller, should they so choose, the seller may have a chance to identify you too. So if you're the buyer, let's think about it. There's possibly your name and company's name, mailing and billing address, name tied to the payment method, an email address, and possibly a phone number too. Now, with all of this considered, and you want to remain anonymous, you better do a quick check on yourself. What pops up if you run a quick search on your name? If you use your office or law firm address and the seller discovers it, could it impact the transaction? Will they still fulfill your order? How important is your privacy if you use your home address and the case goes to court? While your end goal may vary, preserving the chain of custody is critical if you intend to use the buy to support a criminal or civil action. And you may not even know if that's an option until after the buy is completed. So this isn't just online shopping. It's an evidentiary process, and you want to ensure that it is handled, managed, and maintained in a legally defensible way. Certainly, at whatever point a buy is made, and whether you handle it in-house or hire investigators like us, there is a wealth of information to learn from the process that can propel the case forward. We hope these tips help to ensure that you start out on the right foot to complete a successful test purchase to best support your objectives. And of course, if you need help, you can always call us. Thanks for tuning in, and feel free to reach out with any questions or comments. If you'd like an investigator's perspective on a different topic, I'm always glad to connect. Take care.